Welcome back to the best morning show in the country, the AM Club. My name is Godwin Nambo here with MFA Akosia Adeti. It's time for our lifestyle daily conversation. It is very important that we have these two fine men, youth activists, social activists, who add more as we go on. Father Anthony, or Julius Anthony, and Aikins Opoku have joined us this morning to discuss the elephant in the room, which is nonetheless Occupy Julorbi House demonstration that happened over a period of 3 days over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Gentlemen, good morning.
Morning.
Julius, why are you going from here? Because the way you drip, you didn't go to school or you get some dates this afternoon?
No, I have to meet a lawyer at his firm.
So looking the part. Powerful. Aikins, how's it going? Good weekend?
Yeah, I've been around. I mean, it's been an interesting weekend, though.
It has been for
you. On Twitter and then social media.
Were you at the 37? Were you around? Were you?
I was not around.
You were not around.
Government official.
Oh no, I had other businesses that
Other businesses. Father, were you there?
Of course, I was on Saturday.
Chief protester.
I was there on Friday, and it's very beautiful seeing the enthusiasm of young people who want to demand accountability from their government, who has promised them a more comfortable life, but turn around to deliver something else. I don't know what to call it. It's the most beautiful scene I've seen in Ghana. The young people of the country, all focused, one idea. We want accountability. And it's as simple as that. I have never seen that. No interest, but one, accountability. I've never seen that.
It's not your first protest you've attended, is it?
No, it's not my first protest I've attended.
But this is the most beautiful you've seen?
Honestly. Because, I mean, you would usually have a situation where the governing party wants to characterize the demonstration as one being orchestrated by the opposition party and all those things. You will not see traces of opposition elements over there. You will see the genuine interest of young people demanding that there is a failure of leadership and we want things to change. We want to be able to have water flowing in our houses. We want to drive on the motorway and be safe. We want you to withdraw taxes that you told us was supposed to be COVID-19 health recovery levy. That you said the pandemic is over. You're still taking those monies from us. You've taxed us more than any regime in this republic. Yet you have delivered the list compared to any other regime in this republic. We want accountability for all these things.
I've seen a few of your tweets and they're quite engaging.
Yeah.
Aikins, I haven't found some of your tweets so far, but I've seen Julius's, tweets and very, very engaged. And I like the part that you saw a lot of beautiful women at the protest.
Of course.
You give that account very nicely.
Yeah, of course. You know, usually they say that the women wouldn't turn up and all these things. But now you see very young girls, very beautiful, the most beautiful you see anywhere in the country.
I'll find that tweet and retweet it later. But Aikins, before we all know that. Julius is really into this protest and the intention behind it. He really has been very vocal about it. What's your assessment? And now today we'll try and go into as to who broke which law.
Yeah.
As to who broke which law.
Yeah.
And I've seen Inu Safuseni trying to interpret contempt in a certain type of way as to whether the protesters can be in breach of contempt or whatever it is. But what's your general assessment, Aikins?
I think that for me, and a believer of democracy, which has people's right to air their views when they feel things are not right, and seeing young women and men on the streets of Accra without guns, airing their opinions and their views on things that they feel that are not right, and demanding that the government of the day, based on the social contract they sign with them at the polls, should look at certain concerns and address them. I think that, it's for me, it's a pleasure. Today it is not about Aikins or it is not about Julius, who are only the young men, demanding accountability from government. But you see people being interested in the kind of governance that are given to them. It is the right way to go. I think that as a country, we have come a long way. I think that in our attempt to also demand, from government that we need you to fix our roads. We need you to fix our hospitals. We need you to create employment opportunities for us. It is also incumbent on us as young men and women to also appreciate the strides, the positivity that as a country collectively we have achieved together. Because it is only through that way that we can discuss the issues dispassionately and reach to a consensus. And so for me, yes, it is a good call, but I also think that as a country, collectively, we have achieved certain positive strides in these challenging times that we should celebrate.
Okay, let's go back to the first ever notice from the police that caught our attention. Okay, that's what brought about a sudden debate. We all have been aware that Occupy Julorbi House is a demonstration that we've been looking forward to until the eve of that day when the police, brought out that notice. What do you make of the notice?
I think that for me, my principle in 2015 will still stand. Which is, you see, at every point in time, okay, when you give room to institutions, especially things that borders on the rights of the citizens, you would find institutions of state trying to use certain, should I say, mafia, right? Because at the end of the day, they try to twist the rules to their favor. Why am I saying this? You have a demonstration which, per our laws, the demonstrators or the protesters indicated to the police. The police, per the Public Order Act, were supposed to sit in meetings with them and agree on a specific route. I have seen releases from the police saying that they did not agree, with some of the routes that the protesters had wanted to, demonstrate.
On what date?
I think that sitting here, I also do not think that protesting at the Jubilee House for days and nights is a right thing to do. I am not saying this because I think that the Jubilee House is not a place that you cannot demonstrate. I mean, we've seen the NDC, the opposition party, demonstrating and presenting petitions at the Jubilee House. But I think that looking at the moment we find ourselves in, especially in the wake of coup d'etats around the sub-regions, we should be concerned that the seat of government, where leaders of this demonstration, like Oliver, who have made public statements that they are interested in making coup here in Ghana, leading such demonstration, then as a government, or as a, let me not say even the government, as an institution like the police, which is mandated to ensure law and order and protect property, then I would think that you would want to make certain suggestions that, see, looking at the circumstances that we find ourselves in, if you could change your route, it would be proper for all of us. As to whether or not the date and time they communicated the injunction and all of that, I've also read a release from the police saying that per a letter that the protesters submitted to them, that if you want to communicate to us, communicate through our lawyers, of which they indeed served the injunction on their lawyers. And this is where I have a very serious issue that I think that as a country we need to look at. See, on the issue of whether or not an application of injunction or amounts to injunction and order or not, you see, and because we've been victims of this situation, and if we do not take care, people will take advantage and will always carry injustice to people. Why am I saying this? If I apply for an injunction on an issue, it means that the intent or the purported action that you would want to take, which I think will be detrimental to my rights and freedoms, I think that the court should look into it. And so I think that if you apply for the injunction, whether it has been heard or not, it is always proper that the parties involved will hold on with such action, so that at the end of the day, if the court comes out and say that, yes, my application merits the laws and the arguments that I have made.
Even if it's an emergency?
Even if yes, you have to hold on. Because at the end of the day, if you go ahead and the court rules in my favor, it means that you've made the order moot. So I think that the protesters should have at least held on. Because if you hold on with the demonstration, it doesn't mean that you cannot have the demonstration again.
Okay.
I think it is important that we trace recent history on demonstrations in Ghana and put some points into perspective, because I see Aikins trying so hard to make some erroneous suggestions that an application for an injunction in the case of the police should have stopped the demonstration. That's the point he's driving at. But I think it cannot hold. The reason is because of the jurisprudence of our court on issues of demonstration and how the police handles it. And we must trace the law as it is. If you look at the Public Order Act, it is trite that you must notify the police. And we must put the words right. It is notify. Because I heard police officers at the demonstration who were saying things like permit and all these things. The police must be educated that they don't have the power anywhere in this country to give permits for demonstration. They are to be notified, and they are supposed to make requests of alternative routes, not even give directives of alternative routes. They are supposed to request from the protesters who are exercising their democratic rights that we are offering you alternative routes, and they must agree to it. If you do not agree, the police themselves have no power under the laws of Ghana to stop people from demonstrating. It is only the court that has the power to stop people from demonstrating. Now, what has the police been doing first? The police would usually wait. Instead of agreeing on a route with you, they will tell you everything is okay. Oh, you can go ahead and blah, blah, blah. On the day before, typically when you are supposed to have the demonstration from Friday, they will go and get an expert application for injunction and stop you. And with an ex parte application, once they have it, you must stop. That's what they do. Without giving you an opportunity to now come and justify why you want to insist on your routes. That's what the police used to do. The courts realized that this sort of attitude that the police uses to stop injunctions is unfair, because it's a trick on the citizens. They just come up with it. And in the case of, and I'm really particular about this case because of the people involved. Republic versus Circuit Court, expert Gifty Owari Abuaji. Do you know that name? Typically, the MPP guys will tell you anytime people are demonstrating that it is NDC people and the people want to have appointments in government when a new government comes, because it is what they did. In 2015, those demonstrations that were going on, the leaders of those demonstrations are people who are in government now. And the name I mentioned in that case is the deputy NSS boss. And you know the ruling in that case? Let me finish. The ruling in that case is what ended the police going overnight to secure an injunction in secret and stop you. It is the ruling from that case which says that it is undemocratic for the police to do that. That you must apply on notice to the other party, so that the other party has a right to now come and justify before the court why the injunction should not be granted. And so, if the police goes around and wants to act contrary to the spirit of the ruling in Republic versus Circuit Court, expert Gifty Owari Abuaji and Attorney General, why should the citizens not act contrary? Because the spirit of that ruling is to prevent the police from ambushing citizens. Now, let's come to the facts of the present demonstration. The police were given notice on the 4th of September that there will be a demonstration starting on the 21st of September. On the 4th of September, all the way to 20th, the police didn't know that they have issues with the venue. The police didn't know that they had security concerns or anything. The police didn't know that they have alternative routes they could have given to the citizens. Now, these same police waits and try to adopt the same thing we said you should stop as far back as 2015, now saying that we have applied. So now they say apply on notice. And the demonstrators have not even been served. You claim you've given it to their lawyers. If you give, what do you call it, a notice of injunction application to my lawyer has a duty to advise me on it. Whether or not my lawyer has advised me, you don't know that for a fact.
Even if I indicate that.
And even if the lawyer has advised me that there is an application for an injunction, it is up to me to make that decision. Where I act contrary to it, and he is trying to make claims that an application for an injunction should be treated as an injunction, let's even assume that his argument is right. What in law is the next step? The court must be the one to hold me in contempt, not the police going to bust me up and throw me in prison or in jail. So what the police did, they had no locus to do. The police do not fine people for contempt. It is the court who must do that. So everything the police did on the first day of demonstration would find no soundness in law.
They said they bust them because of unlawful assembly.
How would you say unlawful assembly when this is the position of the law on the issue? That you should be notified. Has the police been notified? They have been notified. The
And
police
what
was supposed.
unlawful assembly?
How does it constitute unlawful?
What really
It constitutes unlawful assembly if you go contrary to the Public Order Act and don't give the 5-day notice, and you are holding a special event. Then it constitutes unlawful assembly. Where you have been notified according to law, we have precedents to show how you are supposed to have acted, and you want to play the same communist inferior tactics. And to my shock, the people in government who are endorsing this behavior of the police, because some way, somehow, they are happy that citizens do not have a voice to speak up, were the ones who established the precedents that the police should not be able to do that. And anytime the MPP youth go about saying that other young people who are protesting the atrocities of the President Akufo-Addo Bawumia administration want appointments, and that is why they are doing it. I find it rather, I don't know, someone trying to mirror his character onto you. Because as I cited, the people who were leading the demonstrations in 2015, the ones from which we have the precedents of law, which I've referenced, are the people in present-day government. So anytime they see you fighting for your rights, they think that you are behaving like them. They try to mirror themselves onto you. That is what they've been doing. And one of the things that I want to put on record today is this attitude of party must be defended at all costs. It must stop. There is this new chant, this new creed that you hear from a New Patriotic Party young people. My party, quote, my party, right or wrong, I stand by it. That statement was made by the Venerable Boakye Ejako, someone I respect so much. But I find that statement so disappointing. And it has become a creed that they chant. Aikins has been on record to have chanted that creed as well. That my party, right or wrong, I stand by it. When we are telling young people to be idealistic in their disposition, passionate in their advocacy for right things to be done, and patriotic in serving this country.
Let's come back to
people are telling them, yes, I mean, it all relates to it.
So Saturday.
People are telling them that party, right or wrong, they should stand by it. So we have a situation where other young people who are demanding that we should not drive on the motorway and risk death, that pregnant women should not be carried on motorbikes, reading long distances before they get to the hospital, that oxygen should not be shot at Kolebu, that the surgical ward at Kolebu should not need surgery itself. Have you seen the surgical ward at Kolebu? When we are fighting that you should not tell us that you are levying us for COVID-19 health recovery levy, and after the pandemic you are still taking the money. When we are fighting that when we import things into Ghana, you should not tax the tax. Government taxes the tax. They multiply the tax by the tax to tax you. That's what they've been doing. When we are fighting against these things, young people in the New Patriotic Party are being told that their party, right or wrong, they should stand by it. What lunacy is this?
Okay.
Take a deep breath.
Take a deep breath.
Take a deep breath.
Aikins.
Yes.
And when we come back, Aikins has to respond to all of
Of course,
this.
he has to.
When we come back on Saturday, I'd like you to tell us the intention behind the protest is not allowing commuters to use the road easily, because
Sure.
that was seen
Sure.
very,
Sure.
vividly in the videos. But Aikins, whilst you're at it, I'd like to find out, would the case be different if it wasn't Oliver who is standing trial for a certain crime? If it wasn't him that was leading the demonstrators or the protesters to the Jubilee House, would it be okay? Will the police as well? But you can respond to
I think that
this first of all.
listening to my brother Julius, I think that when we started this conversation, my position has been clear. That for me, I think that in order not to ensure that orders given to parties involved in a court issue, once an application of injunction is notified to you, you must ensure that you hold on with the activity that you intend doing.
The EC didn't hold.
I mean, I'm saying that is my personal view on issues on
And it is
application.
for the
I
court
mean,
to
if
decide
you would
the
allow me to,
consequences of
if
that, not
you would
the
allow me
police.
to
He
make
must
my
put
point,
that on record.
if you would allow me
Okay,
to make
let's
my
allow
point, so that point is well made. Now, my brother Julius is making assertions that because people in MPP, during their time, they protested and now they're enjoying, juicy position. And so we think that the leaders of this protest are also doing the same thing. Let me tell him that Oliver, who is the leader of this demonstration, was a presidential staffer under Mahama.
What does it matter?
No, so the assertion you are making...
What does it matter?
No, the assertion that you are making, that, leaders of demonstrations under Mahama are now enjoying juicy position, and so we think that... And so you are... No, Julius, let me make my point. I kept quiet. I kept quiet.
Sure.
Oliver was a presidential staffer under Mahama, so that point do not come in. Now, he also says that, we think that, by party right or wrong, so we are defending things that we are not supposed to defend. We are not doing that. All that we are saying is that, yes, we are facing challenges. In fact, the President of the Republic has accepted that. But what we are saying is that in accepting the challenges that we are facing, we should also, collectively praise the strides and efforts that we are having as a country. We are talking about bad roads. Nobody is saying that we have fixed all the roads here in Ghana. In fact, there are bad roads that I ply on. The Kaswa Road, which I've made public commentaries on that I think it should be fixed. But I can also not turn a blind eye on the fact that this government, in the history of this republic, has constructed the largest kilometers of roads. Today, in the history of Ghana, over 5 interchanges. I mean, are you not seeing some? When you go to the East Legon, Flower Pot, Runover, are you not seeing some? Are you not seeing the Accra, Kumasi dualization of roads? Are you not seeing some? If you tell me that, we need to create employment opportunities for our youth, yes, I agree. I agree perfectly that, I am completing national service by September. And you think that I am not concerned that there is no clear cut. And this is the systems we've been facing since independence. But I cannot also turn a blind eye on the employment opportunities that this government has created. The health sector.
Really?
Over 90,000 employments that have been created. Have you recently seen the Youth Employment Agency, the models that they are running? So, all that we are saying is that, yes, we are facing challenges. We must talk about it. You think that I am not concerned that scholarship schemes, we have reports that people pay money before they are giving scholarship? You think I am not concerned? But I cannot also turn a blind eye on the fact that under this government, under the same scholarship secretariat, scholarship have been decentralized. That today, the poor, it is true, I am a beneficiary of the decentralized local scholarship. That today, it is no more about who is your father, who is your mother. But if you go to your district and you are identified hailing from that constituency or that district, you are giving scholarship. I cannot turn a blind eye. So we will address the challenges, but we will also talk about our successes. That is the point I'm trying to make.
What is wrong with taking the protest to the Jubilee House? What is really wrong?
I am saying...
You've seen protesters take their protest.
There is nothing wrong. I have told you that this government is on record, If they are saying that the government do not want them to demonstrate at the Jubilee House, it's on record to have allowed its biggest enemy, political enemy, the NDC, organized demonstration at the Jubilee House.
So what makes this one special?
But I am saying that looking at the security threats that we are facing in the sub-region, I don't think that at the seat of government, the seat of government represents the sovereignty of our states.
But
the sovereignty of our states is in the people, and the people want to go to the seat of government and are telling me that because of coup
no, let me make my point. If I'm done, then I'm concluding. I'm concluding. I'm concluding. So I'm saying that, MFA, in concluding my point, leadership is not the absence of challenges. That everything is well. No, that is not leadership. Sure. But leadership is when you accept the challenges. That is what this government is doing. And then you rally everybody together and try to find solutions to those problems. And I think that is what this government is doing.
Okay. I'm sure other people will differ.
I'm surprised that Aikins is high in arms talking about how much they have done on roads and infrastructure and blah, blah, blah. It's the funniest of things I have ever heard this morning. The reason being that when we want to talk about the roads, the people themselves are telling you on a daily basis that they are dying, that they are falling in ditches on the motorway, that they can't drive to Kaswa All these ones that are so obvious to us that we can all see, and we are talking about every day, you have unsolved them. Then suddenly you come and tell us that you have fixed more roads than any other government in this republic and all those things. The ones that have been done by your predecessors as far back as Nkrumah, you can't even maintain. And you are telling me that you have fixed more roads than people.
So is it the
and
priorities?
Talk about, I mean,
like which one of the roads?
It's not even. It's not even about priorities. The statistics he's given are impeachable. He should show us the source document, which gives evidence to the fact that they have constructed more roads than everybody.
Okay.
So the statistics are impeachable.
If the
I want to move away from achievements of both parties and focus on this
I am not doing that. He is telling us that those are, excuse me.
You started it.
I am telling you the records of protest and which people went to secure injunctions and the implications of those things on why people should freely move. And you have made it about how you have done this and this. And the young people who go and protest, they are not concerned about this, your NDC MPP. They are concerned about things working for them. And he claimed that at the health sector, they have done better and all manner of things. Health sector is the most obvious failing area in this country. Go to Twitter and see how many people are dying because of the deplorable health services. In Kolebu, I see doctors every day. I don't have their permission to mention their names. I would have mentioned it. Who literally do memes about how they are rationing equipment in Kolebu. That they are being asked to work with it. That is the reason why we are losing lives at Kolebu. You are not attending to those things. Nurses in this country, when immediately you finish, your seniors would advise you to leave the country. And they are the ones leaving this country every day in droves. And you are telling me you are employing them.
Okay.
For the records, I know nursing students who have finished, a lot of them around me, who do not have it. And it is not even me that has to say it. They are saying it themselves. The whole public knows. So these are not excuses you can make conveniently and say that we should keep quiet and not advance our grievances. Then the second point on the whole security zone thing, and that because Oliver Barker-Vormawor is involved in all those things. I mean, a person is only guilty when you have actually found him guilty in court of law. You have made unfounded accusations simply because this gentleman has been protesting your failures and you have put him on trial. And up till now, you are yet to adduce any evidence in support of that. And because of that, you are saying that his rights as a citizen, which remains inherent until it is taken from him, and he is jailed for the treason felony you are charging him for, he should not exercise it. How ridiculous it is that a government can label an accusation. It means that even me that I'm working today, the government can just say that they are charging me for treason, and because of that, I have lost my right to demonstration. Which preposterous arguments are this? And we are tolerating these arguments on a public platform which is supposed to be educating people. And he's supposed to know better. That he has a duty and obligation to the people who are glued to the screens to listen to him. A person who is charged is not guilty of the offense. And so if that person is exercising a right which is inherent in him, inherent in our democratic constitution, you cannot turn around and tell me that because that person is accused, the right should be taken away from him because he's the leader of the protest. Okay, what preposterous arguments are we tolerating over here? And to move on from there, the Jubilee House is not a place where citizens are prevented from going. And the reason why they do not want this particular group of citizens to go there is because they have realized that they cannot be party-colored. Nobody would be able to say, NDC for Intimunja Amo. So if these citizens' voice are heard, the ordinary Ghanaian will start standing up. That is the reason why they don't want them to go there. It is not because of any security zone. Because the president, unlike Aikins, knows that Oliver Barker-Vormawor is not a felon because the president is a lawyer. The people who advise the president knows this. So if Aikins sits on this platform today, spewing, excuse me to say, utter ignorance, deceiving the public, that a person who is charged of an offense automatically becomes labeled as a terrorist and should not be able to go to the Jubilee House. That is what he said. It's a terrorist who toppled democracies. So I say that because he should not be able to go to the Jubilee House. I cannot tolerate that over here. And I find it, and to be honest, I find it, MFA, please, let me land my point. Let me land my point. I find it utterly disrespectful to our viewers and our audience that these sort of comments should go on here.
It's our platform, and I'd like to give Aikins opportunity to reiterate exactly what
he meant by because Oliver Barker-Vormawor is being charged, he cannot demonstrate. They should respond to that.
I'm saying that. I think that Julius is setting his own questions and then
that's false.
Now, what I said is that this government, per the assertions that he's making, in terms of protesting at the Jubilee House, has a track record that indeed they allow people to protest there.
No,
Why is
they
this
allow
different?
political parties.
Please,
They don't
let me
allow the
explain.
ordinary
Julius,
citizens.
Why is this
They
different?
allow political parties.
What
Make the
I am
point
saying
why
is
this
that
is
I
different.
think
He said because there are coup
He said he
d'etats.
thinks.
no,
He said
what
he
I'm
thinks.
saying
Because
is
there are
that
coup d'etats.
Oh, Julius,
And
let me
Oliver
make-
Bakaboma
no, Julius, I'll make my
is going
point.
to say,
I'll
Julius,
for
we
my
can't-
point, I'll make
we
my
can't
point.
tell.
To be
I'll
fair,
make my
to be
point.
fair.
No, that's what he's saying.
What I am
He's
saying,
here, so let him go.
what I said and what I am saying is that, see, looking at the
Even
wake
you need
of
water.
coup
You
d'etat,
need some water.
looking at the coup d'etat
In the
and the
sub-region.
security threat that we are facing as a sub-region,
makes sense.
and the kind of
It doesn't. These are
Julius.
ordinary citizens.
And
And the soldiers that are making the coup.
No, you see,
It's the
you see-
soldiers that are making the coup. It doesn't make sense.
No,
It is soldiers. It doesn't make sense.
And the-
It is citizens. It is citizens.
The show is coming
You
to
are
an
saying
end.
that the
Julius,
citizens of
Julius,
Ghana
that's what I'm
should not
saying.
be able to
Julius, do you know when a
protest
soldier is
because
gonna make a
soldiers
coup?
are taking over
Julius, do you
government.
know when a
These
soldier is
are
gonna
not
make a coup?
soldiers. Godwin, please, did you go to the
Julius,
protest?
no, I
These
was-
are
I was
ordinary
there Saturday.
citizens,
Listen,
young
I'll make my
girls,
point.
university graduates.
Julius,
I saw Makola
do you
students.
know
Okay,
when a soldier
law
is
students from
gonna make
Makola.
a
I
coup?
saw lawyers of repute.
Julius, do you know
demonstrating.
how
And
soldiers
you
make
are
coups?
telling me,
Are you
and you
done?
are
But
telling
is
me
that
that
the
their
only place
democratic
that
rights
can happen?
should
I
be
mean, of
taken
course, not the
away
only
from
place,
them
but
Julius, are you
because
done?
soldiers are
So
doing
he's
coup d'etat
saying-
in other countries.
Julius,
I'm not going to
Julius,
tolerate this argument.
Julius,
No.
It is an
see-
intolerable
Julius.
argument to feed to the populace
I mean,
that
it's-
because
it's
there are coup
it's
d'etats in
arguable.
other regions,
allow him
Julius,
to
it's
lie.
very
democratic
arguable.
rights of
It's very
citizens
arguable.
to
It's very
demonstrate
arguable. I
and
think it's very
protest should be
arguable.
taken away from
You
them.
see-
Now
Not
you
at
tell
all.
me this.
Not taken away
So
from
what
them.
you are saying
It's
is that
arguable.
what you are
Julius,
saying is that
it's
what-
arguable.
You know what?
I'm
Your
piggybacking on
your
what he
right to
said.
protest is as equal as your right to health and all other rights that
But
you
those
have.
rights come
So
with
if you are telling me-
responsibilities.
Of course,
True.
and yes, and
It
there's
comes with responsibilities.
it comes with a responsibility to
And
hold
the
your
police-
failing
the po-
government
the
accountable.
police- the
And when I
police-
go
the
to
police
exercise
has
that
every right
responsibility
We
to
need-
hold
to
your
ensure that
failing
they
government
ensure safety.
accountable,
This conversation.
you cannot use coup
No, he
d'etat in
didn't allow me
Gabon
to make my
as
point.
a
You see-
reason
you
why
see,
I should not have
the-
my
the
right.
fact
This is a
appears in him.
preposterous argument
Julius.
which should be thrown to the
Let me
dustbin.
make my
Julius,
point.
you've spoken so much.
Julius.
Let's
So what I said,
finish this
what
one.
I said is that people can demonstrate at the Jubilee House, of which parties have done before.
But Oliver cannot.
I never,
because
I'm
you've
not
charged him.
centering it on
Julius, let him
Oliver.
land, let him land.
All that I'm
So we know
saying,
what he's
all
saying.
that I'm saying is that looking at the security threat that we face as a sub-region, and some of
Security
the
threat from your own
and
citizens?
some of the
Why didn't the
commentaries,
From your own
police state that?
citizens?
see, and some
Why didn't the police
Even
indicate?
the police didn't make that argument.
No,
He
you
is
see,
making that
I am
argument.
here.
Yes,
I am here.
yes,
I am
yes.
here.
He
I
said
am here
he's-
in my
he said he
capacity
thinks-
as
he
Opoku
thinks-
Aikins.
he said
I'm
he's
here in my
not
capacity as
generalizing. He said this is what
Opoku,
he
and I
thinks.
have every
His
right. And you see,
opinion.
that is the problem
His
I have
opinion.
with some of the
Doesn't mean it's true.
protesters. You people want
and
your
it's-
views to
doesn't
be
mean it's true.
heard.
It doesn't
I don't
mean
want
His
people who have
opinion is
contrary
not
opinions
law.
to be heard.
His
True.
opinion
So
is
it
not
is
law.
true.
The
He hasn't
law
said it's
says
law.
that.
He
The
hasn't said it's
people-
law.
Yes,
He
so
said
I
in
am
his
exercising
estimation.
my lawful right, and your opinion that a coup d'etat is in Gabon should stop me from exercising my lawful right. Godwin, what are we tolerating here?
Juliet,
My lawful rights as a citizen,
Julius.
your opinion that there is a coup in Gabon should stop me from exercising.
If
and you are
Julius
telling me
will
that
allow me
because
to make my
soldiers
point, you should
are
talk.
making
Julius,
coups in
Julius,
Gabon,
the
the
viewers
viewers
will
as an
judge.
excuse to
Julius,
take away
it's
my
not
right
viewers
as
will
a
judge.
citizen.
Julius,
What are
it's
you
not fair
telling
on
me?
him. It's not. Your point is very clear.
It is not
We
fair
know
on
this.
our viewers
No, let
that
him
we
make
should
the
have
point.
people who should tell them that our government using sub-regional security issues as excuses. Do you know what? That's what
Did I say
dictators
government?
do.
I mean,
That's what
you see, you're
dictators
setting
do.
your own
That is
questions
what
and you're
dictators
answering them.
do.
He said-
But
Sub-regional
you see,
security
you see,
issues
the
as an
point-
excuse to
him
take
there.
away the rights of
Julius,
people.
I don't think
It's unfair.
Julius.
Julius, I don't think we've had.
I mean, I didn't do this to
Even-
you.
Go on.
I didn't do this to you.
Promise
Julius,
you won't
I mean,
talk.
I won't talk again.
Julius,
You should go on.
I say Julius,
The viewers have watched
so-
enough.
so that
they have
is-
seen enough.
Aikins land.
They have seen enough to draw
Aikins
their
land.
conclusions.
Aikins land.
That is-
About the people who defend this failing region.
Okay.
Aikins land, please.
That is the. I've made that
Before-
point. Now, let me state it on record that I never, in any way, try to downplay some of the concerns that our young men and women. In fact, I support this call, and I've told you that some of the concerns they are raising, some concerns like the taxes on sanitary pads. These are concerns that I think that the government should look at. But all that I'm saying is that I will not dance to the tune of Julius, trying to paint a picture that this government is a failure and we cannot talk about the successes of this government. That is what I want to bring to the attention
well
of
said.
Julius.
I guess
That
it's,
despite the
it's
challenges that we have, there are successes that we can also talk about. That is the point I want to
Okay.
make.
Thank you very much for landing. I guess in this country, Julius, we can all agree that some people will say, oh, I live in a very good economy in this country.
Of
Someone
course,
will
of
say,
course, of
I don't
course.
live in a good economy.
Of
It's
course.
arguable. It's
Of
either
course.
here here nor there. Our time is up, isn't it? Ms. Obukai, when you said that, I'll see you really meant it, didn't you? Gentlemen, moving forward, briefly, 1 minute each. What impact do you think this demonstration has done?
I think this demonstration, the greatest impact this demonstration has had is to send a strong signal to people who think that they can silence the voices of young people,
Okay.
including states, non-existent security challenges,
Okay.
as a way of silencing citizens,
Okay.
it would no longer work.
Okay.
And to think that they can simply say NDC4 to silence people would also no longer work in this country.
All right.
And young people should take it up upon themselves anytime, including Aikins, who says sanitary pad is 15% tax on sanitary pad is unfair. They should take it upon themselves to voice it out. We want to hear him. Next time we want him to join us. He should do a placard for sanitary pads and talk about it so that we know that the party, right or wrong, I stand with it thing that they have been chanting. It's not too ingrained in him that he cannot stop.
Yes,
Julius,
I think that this protest, like I said when I was beginning my commentary, has indeed awakened the spirit of the young men and women that see we should partake in the governance process of our country. And I also think that it gives the government the opportunity to look at some of the genuine concerns that the youth are talking about, and also advocate and promote and tell the youth that, see, your government has done A, B, C, D, E, F in an attempt to address your situation. And this is what we think we are doing to also solve some of the concerns that you are raising. And I think that the youth of this country should also be worried about the opposition that is trying to ride on this protest, to also give their policy alternatives.
I disagree.
It is not only about the ranting. Tell us what you will do as an opposition party.
Aikins, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think in all of this, we've all learned something. We should speak. We shouldn't wait for these things to happen before we call on celebrities and stuff to, whether you're doing well or you're doing bad, we should all talk. Young people should be involved in national discourse. Thank you, Aikins Opoku, youth activist.
Thank you.
And Father Anthony, social activist.
He didn't allow me
What's the
to
difference between youth activists and social activists? Maybe some other time. My gentlemen, thank you very much.
I see that you've been commenting a lot about our governor, and she's
one
also
too,
going to
but
mention.
hey,
We'll talk about it later.
She deserves
Time
her
is
call.
up, guys.
Congratulations to you, Amma.
Motivational Monday is up next.